So, hi, my name is Prasanna. I was in tech from 2002 to 2006. Big fan of literary events and glad to be here with all of you today. I just want to talk about a theme that Preeti touched upon briefly, and it's something that's resonating with all of us today. So it's called change is the only constant. It's basically that's the career for the future in my mind. And I just want to talk with regards to my career, with regards to what's happened, and with regards to what's happening as well. Um, a number of us have done this, and I did it as well. Engineering for me was a decision with the herd. I didn't think much about it. It was a path to, okay, 4 more years of doing this. Um, One thing I learned in tech, and thanks to people like Shanti Sevan ma'am and so on and so forth, was learning to say no. It's very important. For example, in my case, I wrote my GRE and so on and so forth. I didn't want, but I was not interested in pursuing further engineering studies. So learning to say no was a very, very hard thing, especially when you've got a couple of admits and you have something lined up kind of thing, or your friends are going abroad. The same context applies for anything that your friends are doing and you probably don't want to do. The other thing I took away was there are many dimensions to intelligence, especially with regards to uh, people who coming from different backgrounds, have a lot of empathy, and with whom you actually don't interact very readily from the very beginning. But then these friendships are the ones that last, and they are probably the single biggest takeaway that lasts. Um, uh, in the case of PEC, at least, so many friends after so many years. It's been like 14 years, and these relationships and friendships last. I also want to talk about the, having said no to a couple of opportunities, I want to talk about the hashtag epic fail moment in my life, which is like, hey, I went ahead and tried to apply to 8 different schools after writing my CAT and XAT, and every one of them rejected me. This is not just the IIMs and the Excels of the world. It's like even the other colleges rejected me. So towards the end of 2006, it was like, hey, as long as I get a job, I'll be happy. And but you have to give luck a chance. You have to keep moving. You have to do your very, very best. So what really helped was um, um, what really helped was just staying the course, right? Doing the best that you can do. In my case, I took it as a challenge that, hey, I didn't get through this. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get through it again. Try it again with a lot of panache and focus, and gave luck a chance. And lo and behold, you don't know what's going to strike. And if you give it a chance, in my case, I still didn't get through the CAT exams the second time around. But what actually happened was that I got such a high score in my math and Excel that I was one of the top folks there. Hence, I got through that. So just staying in the game makes a big place. Um, MBA again was gave you education. It gave you some more time to put your life in order. So that's much better. But having said that, you finish in 2009, and if you are in the final year or third year now, you will relate to what I'm trying to say. Suddenly, there's recession, subprime. These are words that I've never heard of, and suddenly you are like facing all of this. The trick is to stay positive. Um, I'm just going to borrow from what Preeti said. I run quite a bit. Life's a marathon. Just stay in the game, stay positive, and things will work out. And just be positive. Being positive is a huge play on this one. So after all this, you get your first real job. I don't know a word of Hindi. When I was studying in Excel, I somehow Chennai, Pondicherry, even in Excel, it was all English. And suddenly, you're asked to manage sales in Bihar, where everybody talks only Hindi or worse Bhojpuri. So from my Hindi Raghu Tata, Ek Gaon Mein Ek Kisan Raghu Tata to actually selling sales in Bihar, it's like you have to take it head on, right? I mean, experiences are like that. Like as long as you're able to just stay positive, keep an attitude that you can actually learn, do it, and you're able to change with time. So you should be able to pick it up. Um, a story in mind is 2012. I worked in Nokia from 2009 to 2012. 2012, Nokia had 75% market share in India. I left Nokia because I just believed that they were not inventing enough. I believed that the world was slipping away and they're just not inventing enough. So I decided to leave. I looked a lot. I prepared. It was a very, very conscious leap from my end. I decided which industries I want to go to, what's happening across the world. So my dream job, where I'm not today, was Netflix. Netflix was not even in India at that time. So I decided, okay, I can't get to Netflix. What else can I get to? So, and then I ended up with Amazon as probably sixth or seventh employee for Amazon business in India, even before they didn't launch. So remember, just leap. It's okay. Sometimes you have to be there, be a part of something exciting. You have to take the chance. Okay, and what's the worst that can happen? You fail. You can always come back to the status quo. So Amazon.in launching was one of the most interesting things in my life, at least professional career so far. It was a lot of fun. It was like going back to college. So obviously, I recruited with me a few of my tech classmates. It was like hanging out and tea, brainstorming. It's really nice. But it was also being a part of something exciting. So when we actually launched the website for India, everybody fit in a room, and Amazon's given 3 tries before this try to launch in India, and every one of them has been a failure. So not many people know that. So you get it out of the ground and you launch it. It's awesome. And ever since that, here is the whopper, right? I mean, you're in a good company, it's doing well, it probably has the world's richest man as its CEO, etc. Your job is to put yourself out of a job every 3 months. So every 3 years. So I've gone from managing nobody to managing a team of 100 to again managing nobody to managing a set of machines to again managing people, and now again I'm trying to learn software development, which I shunned all these years back. So now I'm managing tech. So this is the truth of this world, right? I mean, change is the only constant. Embrace it, and you learn a lot on the way. It's a fun ride. I just want to leave with the biggest thing that I took away from that, and biggest thing that anybody who's had is should take away is empathy. If you're able to put yourself, you are with, during my time it was 420 other people, now it might be more. You are with very folks from different backgrounds. If you are able to put yourself in their shoes and think for them, what they would be thinking, and if you're able to learn something from that, that's the biggest thing you're taking away from the college. So far in school, in your neighborhoods, it's all similar set of people, right? If you're able to get the experience which is transcending yourself, that's the biggest takeaway from college. And for me, life surprised me. So I met my life partner in Pondicherry in college. I didn't know her that time that well. 10 years later, we met. We got married. Now we have a daughter. So it really surprises you. 14 years back, I didn't want to come to US. Now I'm in Seattle. So just be ready for change, embrace it, have a fun time, and these are the best days. Trust me, of your educational career. So just enjoy it. Make sure that you make the best of it. That's all I had. Happy to take any questions. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk here.
It was a very optimistic speech, sir. You said that you're from XLRI, right? Do you have any memories of Jamshedpur as such? I was born there, so I would be prejudiced towards it.
Yeah, it's such a fun place. I mean, very, very well maintained, very, very neat. I did go there last time I came to 2 years, not the last time, the time before that I came to India. It's like a beautiful place. I have very fond memories of the place. The biggest takeaway again was the first week they took us to a village trip. and they showed us real India. They said, okay, you're going to be in the CH area kind of place, which is like all beautiful and you're going to live in a cocoon, but this is the real India. And 3 days of a trip where you actually meet very, very different people, farmers, sex workers, a couple of villages you stay without electricity. It's amazing. So I, it's true across the country. It grounds you in reality. So really, really fond memories of the place and especially of Jamshedpur.
When you were leaving Nokia, right, that they were the biggest share market holder, right, at that time in India, at least in telecom industry. How did you make yourself? You said that they were not innovating enough. How did you judge that?
Look what's happening right around you. Are you happy? I mean, are you really pushing products what you don't believe in? I would never, for example, personally, I would never work for companies whose products that I won't use. That puts me at a disadvantage. I can't work for a lot of companies then. But that's just my thing. So for me, Nokia's biggest thing was it's such an amazing company, such an amazing place. I still have some of my best friends from there. But just that I believe that they were taking too much time to take decisions. It was like consensus building, and not every time consensus building works. I feel Amazon's exactly the opposite. One of the leadership principles of Amazon is have backbone, disagree, and commit. Like in this meeting, there are like 10 of us. Let's say we have it out. We discuss it for hours together. But at the end of the meeting, we take a decision. All of us are on the same page, all the time. That's something that I really admire about this place, and that's something that I was not seeing in Nokia. And I think that led to its downfall, right? I mean, Nokia had their App Store in 2004. They sat on it. Apple launched in 2009, F8 2009, FYI. So it's just about taking the technological breakthrough. It's true with life. It's even true with technology. If you're not moving fast enough, you are like left behind. So.
And how has this pandemic affected your, as you're in a managerial role? It might be difficult, right, when the people are actually working from home to motivate them to work more hard or something.
I don't know that I'm doing a good job, frankly, but it's difficult. It's a life event in all of our lives, right? I mean, my father-in-law says it's a life event, so he's 75, so it's a life event for everybody, whom I know at least. But the way you handle it is acknowledge it. It's not life as usual, right? Let's first acknowledge it. Second, empathize and help. Like, for example, if somebody wants to take an additional week off just to get their parents right, people might have young kids with them. Make sure that you understand, you work your timings around. Somebody might have gone to their home, which is in a different time zone. Make sure you're empathizing that. And last, help with regards to making sure that the physical setup, which is there in your hand, you can work. For example, Google has offered $1,000 for every employee to make sure their home setup is being done. Like help with that kind of thing. Okay. And finally, it's very much individual, right? Purushottam, just stay positive. I mean, my one thing, if I want to leave with you guys, is that embrace change. Attitude is everything. Stay absolutely positive. And this too shall pass. Placements, things may not work out to be hunky-dory as you guys think, but again, I'll echo what Pity said. It's a marathon. It's going to be a fun marathon. So.
Yeah. So my last question will be for both of you. Yesterday I was watching a movie and they told like everyone has a poison of their own, like something they are indulged in so much that they can move forward, right? And think a bigger side with which you can like push forward even if the times are harsh. What are those for you? Like where you want to be and why are you doing what you are doing?
I think Preeti is far more qualified to take this one. Preeti, you want to go for it? Preeti, you're on mute, I think.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm learning how to work remotely. So I just told hi, Prasanna. It's been a long time. It's nice meeting you here. Yeah. So Purushottam, you asked me what is a thing that keeps us going?
Yeah, like the motivation that you have toward like in hard times. What do you remember and go forward?
Hard times. Hard times. Actually, I'm. I think okay. Thank God, life has given me a pause. I think of that way. Now I'll think what is really important to me. Otherwise, I have this. This impulse of jumping from one thing to the other. Okay, now this is done, and I have to go to the next stage and to the next job and to that. This has like forced me to pause. I can't travel anywhere now. There are travel bans, so it's sort of I'm taking it. I mean, I'm because of some financial backup, I'm sort of taking a pause and really thinking what I value in life. And the one thing that will keep me going will be, it's not related to this talk at all, but will be working for animal rights and how it is related to how animal abuse is related to pandemic and how it's in turn related to climate crisis. So so in that sense, I see this pandemic not as something to not as something to see, okay, I'll get through this year and next year life will be as usual. I think it's an indication that something is not normal in our society. Because pandemic was, it was in 1918, and then it was slowly up in 2002, and then very mild events were in 2008 and 9, and this is a big one. Now the next one could be coming anytime, as long as there is the animal farming in the way it is. So I see this pandemic as a necessary thing for our society. It is, otherwise business can't go as usual with the way we are treating our earth. And so that and as long as I'm working in some way for the environment, it keeps me going through any weather. Yeah.
I think that's way more meaningful than what I was going to say. But here is a short poem, right? I mean, I take a lot of inspiration from literature. So here is a short poem, right? What if 2020 isn't cancelled? What if 2020 is the year we've been waiting for? A year so uncomfortable, so painful, so scary, so raw, that it finally forces us to grow. A year that screams so loud, finally awakening us from our ignorant slumber. A year we finally accept the need for change, declare change, work for change, become the change. A year where we finally band together instead of pushing us further apart. 2020 isn't cancelled, but probably is the most important year of them all. So it's from an unknown author, but I think that kind of sums up to me. For me, the inspiration is the fact that whatever we think we're having, people before us have had it tough. Your family, my family, our generations before, they've had it tough and they survived and they've made it. So if they have made it, we owe it to the future generations to make sure we make the best of this time.
That is a beautiful thought.
Thank you. Yeah.
And another, we have a audience question that is our career future will be in the form of social distancing? If yes, how can we change the mentality and work ethic according to the situation?
I think this is a experiment, right? Worldwide experiment, A/B testing. What happens if everybody works from home? I think this is going to stay in the future. I think it's going to crash real estate market by a big way. People can work anywhere. I think it's going to make broadband more important. I think it's going to make virtual teams more important. I think it's going to improve gig economy. Everybody's going to be more like a consultant where they're actually going to work for multiple projects across multiple companies rather than working in a single place. I think it's going to equalize, thank goodness, after a long time, gender equality, because I can already see people in my team managing their, coming out, being more vocal, managing their home and their career better. I think it's here to stay. A part of this will stick, and part of this will stick for good. The important thing is to adapt and make sure that when you're having your time with people, virtual or real, you make it meaningful. It's not about having the 10,000 friends, Facebook friends, right? It's having the one friend you can lean upon when you're having a tough time. So as long as that is true career-wise as well, it's good.
Great answer. Preeti, can you give your insights as well?
Yeah, I agree with Prasanna that it is going to stay for a while, but I also miss my colleagues. I also miss going to lab somehow because it's like, we had a different life, social life. So that is now everything. The boundaries, the physical boundaries are all merged, and um, and I can manage working from home. It'll probably be good, but I really miss going to. So if at all, I hope that we prevent the next pandemic, and somehow work towards a place where we can, come forward and have a handshake with the other person without any fear. And I would, yeah, I really miss being with people. So I would want to create a world which allows for working from home whenever need be, but doesn't make it the norm. So
That is the perfect answer, I guess.
thank you.
Okay, so we have already exceeded our time a lot. Thank you all for joining in with us. We had a very good insights on how these careers for future are and what are the changes we actually need to do in our skills and as well as our future education as well. Thank you all.